Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Kiodiekin. In today's video review, we're going to take a look at all of the cloud gaming games that are fully accessible to you through your Raspberry Pi 5, most of your single board computers, and especially the orange Pi 5. Now, if you guys remember last year, me and the Supreme team, we released Pi Resurrection, which finally tapped in to the full ability for cloud gaming. Now, normally, if you guys have been familiar with your normal single board computers, Raspberry Pi 5, Orange Pi 5, and the like, typically all of the games are loaded, like your Ataris, your NES, PlayStation 1. Now we also have PlayStation 2, but I don't think we really went through the detail of the full game list of all the capable cloud gaming streaming games that are available to you. So no longer do you have to load games directly on the unit itself, wearing out your single board computer, trying to overclock, trying to find the perfect settings, even though none of that stuff really works anyway. But this allows you to fully tap into your AAA titles and the current gen games that are currently available on the market right now. Now, some of these will require a subscription, such as your Xbox Game Pass, Amazon Cloud Luna, GeForce Now gaming experience, and also Stream Arcade. But for the most part, typically we go through all the arcade lists or the video games that are loaded, or the ROMs rather, that are loaded on your single board computer. All of that is gone with the past. We're moving forward. This is the future of gaming. This is the future of retro gaming, or your single board computers, not just having the ability to tap into the games or the ROMs that you can load locally, but what you could tap into if you had your Xbox or PlayStation or even your PC rather on the road with you. You have fully accessible to thousands upon thousands of these current gen games without having to need video cards or tap into or hook up a whole bunch of crap for no apparent reason. You can access it now. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the gaming market, this is the direction that the gaming market has been going in, and this is why I resourced to find out how many cloud gaming services are really available for us to tap into. So in today's video review, we're going to look at all the games that are fully capable. I don't think I really kind of covered this before, but I thought it would be beneficial to all of my subscribers. And if you want to download Supreme Ultra right now, which is already benefited and already built to support cloud gaming, you can head on over to my Patreon. You can download Maximum Carnage, Pi Resurrection, all the images or whatever that you have for you, as long as you have a Raspberry Pi 5, Orange Pi 5, or even some of the mini PCs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so first up, this is a list of all of the recently added games to Xbox Cloud Gaming Service. Now, again, in order to use this service, you will need to pay the ultimate subscription service for our Game Pass. I believe right now it's $19. Previously, it was at $16. And this is a phenomenal thing. And let me tell you, when I first started using the service, which was a couple years ago, the reason why I started using cloud gaming service with my Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi 5, obviously the technology had to be there in order to use it. But I realized I had some cracked games. I had Killer Instinct and a couple other ones. Had it on my PC, but then every one of those cracked games needed specific files. So I had my cloud gaming service, and I was like, what the heck am I doing? Why do I need to play any of these cracked games, which I pretty much got rid of all of them, and I could just stream them for free because I'm already paying for the service. So it doesn't make sense to already pay for a service that you can already download or just run it instantly, instead of having to go through the crack process of using a bunch of crack games, which is additional work. So this makes everything a whole lot simpler. I can play this on my PC. You can use this on your Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi 5, or any other Intel-based chip or single board computer that's capable of cloud gaming. So before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at my menus list. I want to show you guys my full settings. There's a few things here that you do want to change for safety and privacy. You have your game name sharing settings. That's my stuff there. And you also want to make sure that you turn this off too, which is optional diagnostic data. You don't need to have that there. You could turn on or off your personalized recommendations. I would recommend keeping that on there if you want to. And then down here, you could turn your notifications on or off. I have mine turned off right now because I don't want all of my friends jumping in online and it just keeps interrupting this video. And then of course we have your audio and video. You have your enable navigation sounds, which will be your clicking sounds and so forth. So I'll always leave that stuff on. And then of course you have your accessibility options. So the enable narrator, if you are familiar with your basic Windows instructions, you have that there. Enable high contrast, enable mono audio output if you only have one speaker. So that is a great option to have. Accessible gaming support, you also have that option there. And then we also have manage games, and there's not really anything you really need to do in here. This just kind of keeps your game saves on the Xbox Live Cloud, so then of course you can rejoin in and pick up from your progress. Over here we have our input for the controller rumble, so your controller will rumble just as if you were directly connected to your Xbox or Xbox Series X with this particular device. Now another thing that I definitely want to mention in regards to the cloud gaming service is that you don't have to, well, this will give you access to all of the games that are included in their library. So with some of the other services, you do have to pay for the games or already have them, and then you're able to stream them. We'll cover that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and take a look at all of the games that are currently available with this service. I'm not going to read them all off. We're just going to kindly scroll through all of them because I believe the number is somewhere about 2,000, and the list constantly changes. So most of these games on here I've seen since they've really enabled this service, and then there have been games that they've slowly removed, and then games that they've all added on here as well. But it's a great service. I really love it. And you know, the intentional purpose is we know that gaming devices or such things such as single board computers are limited in power in terms of not being able to have a graphics card. You also is not able to run a lot of these AAA titles natively. So it gives you this additional option to have all of your retro gaming games if you're using a Raspberry Pi or Orange Pi5, and then be able to tap into this additional service. Now, some people have wondered, like, what is the benefit of cloud gaming? You're paying $16 to $19 a month now. Well, one of the added benefits of having this is that you don't have to buy a $500 gaming device to play most of these games. So for me, around the holidays, I play a lot of Gears of War 4, Gears of War 5 with my nephews. I'm not going to go out or ask them to buy or bring over all of their Xboxes, which is going to run up your electric bill. And again, using these low power devices does save you money on your electric bill over months, over weeks, over the year. It's a cheaper option. So like the Ratsa X4, we have the UE2 X1, that's $100. You got your Raspberry Pi 5s. Orange Pi 5s are pretty much anything using an RK3588. Those are anywhere between $50 to $80. So that's a huge savings versus having to buy all your kids or all your friends a Xbox valued at about $500 to fully be able to take advantage of all of these services. So all of these games, you can use multiplayer lag-free without any of these issues. Obviously, this is all going to be dependent on your internet access. And again, here there's Killer Instinct. And again, too, these games can be played on your PC. They have different libraries, so to speak. So you have your Game Cloud service here, and then there's also different games you can also play with on your PC as well. And you will also see here a lot of games that came over from Xbox One and Xbox 360. Some of the backwards compatible games like your Perfect Dark, your Perfect Dark Zero. And a lot of the games that were removed from the Xbox 360 marketplace, I believe they're going to slowly start migrating those over. There's no official word on that, but I do know that they do have some games that say, hey, coming soon. One of those games was Sega Daytona, which is a race car game. So hopefully that comes up here in the next few months. But overall, I really love this service to be able to tap into games that I never would just randomly go out and buy for $30 or $40. This really made perfectly good sense. And we launched this on the Orange Pi5 back in, I think it was May or June of last year, which would have been 2023. And I really wish we could have been live for that, because we really had no idea what we were tapping into. We had no idea if it would run perfectly. We've seen the service before, but we had no idea about the direction we could take this in. All right, here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's one of my favorites. I do use that for my bench testing. And I know this isn't going to cover here, but for Amazon Luna, some of those games, unlike the Xbox service, you don't have to change your ratio or your video aspect ratio. And I know I'll cover that on the Amazon Luna side, but for the most part, all these games here will run natively on your 1080p or 720p monitors. However, with Amazon Luna, they have a setting in that service where you can either stream the games at 720p or 1080p, but when I ran it at 1080p, there was some latency issues. And so that way you guys don't run into any of that. So with the Xbox service, that is the complete list. It looks like they've updated a lot of these games. Sometimes they move some, sometimes they add some. So this is not a concrete list, but it does give you guys a better idea about what you can expect when you either subscribe to their service, or what you could expect on one of the latest Supreme Ultra builds for RetroPie using a Raspberry Pi 5, Orange Pi 5, or again, this is just a general service if you have it on your PC. So next but not least, let's go ahead and pull up the Epic Game Cloud service, which is the actually, I'm sorry, that was not the Epic Game Cloud service, but the GeForce Now Experience server. I believe that price starts out at about $9 a month. All right, so here is another fantastic streaming service. I believe the service starts out at about $9 to about $20 a month, depending upon what service you want to go with. Now, unlike the Xbox Game Pass server, I know there's been some misinformation, a lot of that stuff floating around these days. But with this particular service, as you can see up here, we're looking at my library. There's 2,083 games that are fully compatible with the GeForce Now gaming experience. However, you don't have access to all of those 2,000 games, because unlike the Xbox service, in order to play the games here, some of these games are free, but this pulls from the game library that you already have paid for. So for example, we're going to scroll down the list here. A lot of these games that you're seeing here from the Epic Game Cloud, from the GeForce Now experience, is pulling from my Epic Game Store, is pulling from my Steam, is pulling from my Game Pass, and I think is also pulling from a couple of other services like Ubisoft and a few other ones. So you already have to have purchased those specific games or gotten those games for free in those particular libraries. Now, I believe there's a few games that are in your library that you can go already and download and already set up for this service, but this is not like Xbox, where there's a ton of games just given to you for free. You already have to have them in your service, and in most cases have already paid for them, and then of course you could play them anywhere. So Counter-Strike is pulling from my Steam game list. I bought that back in 2001. Cuphead, I think I either purchased that or I think it was given to me free through Epic. Counter-Strike Source, Cyberpunk, I bought that on Steam a couple of years ago. And then, of course, a lot of these other games are coming from my Epic Game Store. So this is a mixture and combination of several different services. Again, most of these are all paid. And then, of course, your basic games like Game Beast is probably given to me for free through the Epic Game Cloud. Gears of War Tactics, I think I bought that through Steam. So that's why that's the library that it's pulling from. All the Half-Life games is pulling from Steam here. And then a few months ago, they actually added Game Pass. So that was one of the other benefits. And the other thing is, too, like right now, if you look here at the top, I have a free account. Now, if you have a free account with the GeForce Now gaming experience, it'll allow you to play some of these games, but it'll take you maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to find a server to log in. And then in some of the cases, you can only play on these servers for like 2 to 3 hours before it disconnects you. Then you gotta resync up again. But if you have a paid service of like $19 to $20, you could stream with using RTX settings. You could use either in 4K, 1080p, and then of course you're allowed to play uninterruptedly. You can pay for an unlimited amount of time or play for an unlimited amount of time without being interrupted. But if you're just going with the free service, some of these services will let you connect to the service and play for 2 or 3 hours, and then it'll kick you off, and then you have to sign back on again. And then depending upon the game itself, like let's say maybe Call of Duty, if Call of Duty is on here, because that is a very busy game, it is a high profile game right now, it may take you longer to connect one of those services. But unlike the Xbox Game Cloud, you can connect instantly, no waiting, no different tiers. You're all playing and using the games that they've already provided to you. All right, so the GeForce Now gaming experience does allow you to buy a day pass if you don't want to do the full month option of $19 a month or $9 a month for the service. You can buy this game pass and it will allow you to use this service on a daily basis. Now, this is really good for individuals who are planning on vacationing. If you want to be able to tap into these additional services, you have your Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi 5, or other single board computers with you, or your mini PC, and you want to tap into your already existing game library that you already own. This will be a phenomenal option for you just to be able to buy a day pass. Now, the day pass is going to run you roughly $299 right now for 25% off for 1440p streaming. And if you want to upgrade to the ultimate gaming service that allows you to cloud game on a GTX or GeForce RTX 4080, is going to run you $599 per day. Now, this is a hell of an offer. Must be something brand new, because last year initially when I first started using it, it was only a monthly pass, but now they're giving you a day pass. And now looking at this, it makes me wonder, why doesn't Xbox incorporate a daily pass, even though I kind of understand their business model. So I believe this is tailored more or less specifically to their gaming model, because they give you free servers. They're not really giving you free games. You've already paid for your games. But if you want to just log on, try to experience this, and you can see the computers they're letting you remotely log into for the gaming experience. You have a GeForce RTX 4080 here, 16 core CPU for $599 right now. Is 25% off. And then over here you got 8 video core vCPUs over here for $299 ad free. So again, right now if you go through the free service, it is an ad experience. Right now this is the plan that I'm on. Free basic rig, $0, ad supported, so I will see a few ads pop up here and there. 1 hour session length. So this is what I was referring to earlier, is that if you are using the GeForce Now gaming experience using a free account, you get a 1 hour session. Over here, if you're paying for a $9.99 plan, you get a 6 hour game session. And then over here on the $19.99 plan, you are getting an 8 hour gaming session. So again, a lot of misinformation that's been out there. People have tried to compare these two services to Game Pass. You do not get disconnected from Xbox Game Pass with your Ultimate membership. However, even with a paid membership for GeForce Now, it is a timed session, whether you have 6 hours or 8 hours. This is what you're getting. However, you are able to game at 480 on an RTX 4080 up to 240 frames per second in 4K HDR. And if we bump up to a 6-month service plan, you still have a session length of 6 hours in length on the $49.99 plan. And then of course on the $100 plan for the whole year, I'm sorry, $100 plan on the Ultimate, it gives you an 8 hour limit, but then of course you have a short queue time. Now, I've really never noticed on the Xbox Game Pass any type of queue time limit. Is really, for the most part, instantaneous. I think at one point I had to probably wait maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. But again, there can be some wait times if you plan on using the services. So that is the biggest difference between GeForce Now and Xbox Game Pass. I know some people have said that this service is a lot better. I don't see how. I mean, it is if you're trying to get better graphics, but just in terms of being able to log in for a basic $20 fee, there's no wait time, and you could stream for hours on end on Xbox Game Pass. So let's go back quickly to the list. I want to show you guys all of the 2,000 games that are available, but please keep in mind all of these 2,000 games that you are about to see through the GeForce Now gaming experience is offered through Epic, Ubisoft, Xbox Game Pass, and Steam. You already have to have had those games, whether they're given to you for free, or whether somebody gave you a gift card to purchase those games for free, or on your service or covered through Game Pass. These are not games that they're giving to you like Xbox Game Pass, where you're going to get 200, 400 games or whatever the case might be through that service. All right, so let's go ahead here and remove the filter. So now we have access to see all 2,000 games that are available through here. So let's go through A to Z. We keep this in alphabetically so you guys can see everything that is going on here. So we have Zoria, Zombie Army. I'm not going to read off all these. We're just going to quickly scroll through. We will pay attention to some of the more high top tier AAA titles. Got this X3 game here. And the cool thing I want you guys to take a look at as we kind of scroll through these games is you'll see this is where it'll let you know where it's pulling from. So this is pulling from my Steam library. It'll give me the option to buy it through here. Then, of course, it would go through the Steam library. We have a bunch of race car games. We have Worms. We got World War Z. And, you know, the biggest benefit of this is that it saves you money, again, on your electric bill. Instead of having to go out and buy multiple different units, you can, or, you know, turning on multiple home PCs, which are obviously going to pull more power and wattage. This allows you to do it at a reasonable cost. Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2. So I'm more cautious now about where I buy my games from. So now when a game comes out like Warhammer, I'm like, gee, do I get it through Xbox or do I get it through Steam? Now, obviously, I don't think that this game is available through cloud gaming, the Space Marine. Now, you can play this on PC. If you have an Xbox Live Ultimate, you could download the game and then play it that way. But you can't stream it right now. And so, because I'm usually on a single board computer doing testing, or if I just want to do some gaming, this has opened up the door for me. It's opened my eyes. So now I'm more cautious about who I'm buying from. So in this particular case, I bought the game because I wanted to go through Xbox, not so much because of achievements, but it may potentially go to Xbox Game Pass Cloud Gaming first before I could do it here on Steam. But it is available on Steam. I just didn't buy it. So you do have those options to play it this way. We have Gladius. We have Warframe. We have VR Chat. A lot of these games will be basic. Some of these games obviously aren't your AAA titles. And over here, again, in the menu, it'll let you know what service it is pulling down from. We'll kind of pay attention to some of the more AAA titles because it does give you options and lets you know whether it's pulling from either Steam or Epic Game Store or one of those other ones. All right, PC Digital, we got Ultimate Fishing. And again, for the most part, most of these will play. All right, so here's the first game here. We got Tyrant's Blessing, just as an example. This will allow you to play it. So if you bought it from Epic or Steam, this is streamable through this particular service. And again, not every game that Epic offers or not every game that Steam offers is playable through this system. There's only 2,000 games out of hundreds of thousands of games that are available that they will stream through their service. This is a phenomenal program. I loved it when I first tested it out on the Orange Pi5 last year. Again, the only thing that was a little bit of a drawback, even though when I first tested it out, was that some games have a longer wait time trying to hook up to a server, and then some games were just kind of instant. Again, this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles through Steam. I don't have it on here, so I have it through Xbox, so that really wouldn't benefit me at all, but it is nice to see it is a cloud streaming based game. Street Fighter 6. We got Streets of Rage 4. Let's see where these are pulling down from. Marked with own. We got Steam. All right. We'll keep going. Yeah, it was a remarkable experience because a lot of people never thought that you would be able to get this and play through like a Raspberry Pi type device. Got this through battle.net. I have the battle.net. I have this, so I could play this if I wanted to. There's Starcom. We got StarCraft 1 and 2. Some of the top real-time strategy-based games. So that is another service outside of Ubisoft that it does reference or connect to in order for you to play. A lot of these titles may seem obscure. Some of these are, I'm not going to say low budget. You know, we definitely, appreciate all the time the devs, allow you to do. But some of these games can be free. And I know there's a lot of comparisons between the Epic Game Store and Steam, but I have to give it to Epic Game Store. They give you a lot of games for free. You can just log in, filter it by free games, and they usually have some good games you can get for free, or even like $5, $4. I think I even got Grand Theft Auto 5. I think it was either free, or I think I got it for like $2 or something like that. It was basically dirt cheap. It really didn't cost me much. All right, Samurai Showdown is coming down from the Epic Game Store. Samurai Showdown 3, Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection. A lot of these games I haven't seen before, but just to let you know what is available to you. You got Resident Evil 2, also available on Xbox. I don't think it's, I think it was on Cloud Gaming on Game Pass for a little bit, but I don't think it's pulling down from that service. Resident Evil 3, we got Resident Evil 4. Still, all of these are coming down straight from Steam. We have Ram Pressure. Never heard of these games. Is that? Oh, that's Raiden. Oh, wow. What service is that through? All right, I'm going to have to buy this one. That is a Steam-based game, Raiden 4. It's pretty cool. It's nice to know that it is streamable. And games like that really won't take too long. The only ones I think that would typically take long would be like your Fortnites, Call of Duties, and some of the other higher tier games where there's going to be a lot of traffic. But for a lot of these more or less obscure games, you should be able to connect in less than 10 minutes. And again, that's one of the other drawbacks of Epic. If you're on the lower tier or going with a free account, you could possibly wait up to 45 minutes or to an hour to connect to some of these games. I know because I've waited because I was trying to test it out, and I bumped it up to the highest tier possible so I didn't have to wait as long. Just a little bit of forewarning for those of you interested. See, No One Survived. Never heard of this one before. It's offered through Steam. Got In Need for Speed Heat. All right, so this is going through EA Games and also Steam. So you got to have both accounts in order to use the EA games, and I totally kind of forgot about that. Because EA does require its own separate login, like the Sims games and so forth. However, I haven't seen any of the Sims titles on here, but you would need to have a separate account for that as well. All right, let's see. We got Marvel Avengers. That's a Steam-based game. Okay. Quickly scrolling through. I know there's a lot of good games here to cover, but this is the direction of gaming. And if you haven't noticed, follow my channel. I would appreciate if you guys do subscribe. But this is the direction of gaming. And what you're also seeing now, a lot of these consoles will be phased out. Everybody's kind of going to the cloud gaming aspect, not just because they want to get rid of physical media, but they obviously want you to connect to have some type of, they want to give you some type of additional service. But Xbox has had the vision for quite some time in terms of the ability to play anywhere. That's where it's going, so that way you can play on your PC, cloud gaming through a browser. You don't have to have your $500 Xbox or PlayStation or your PC anywhere near you anymore, but you could kind of take this on the road and do whatever you need to. All right, all three of these games, Half-Life 2, these are pulling from Steam. I bought those games back in, yeah, I think I said I bought those back in like 2004, 2005 when those games came out. We got Gravel, Ghost Wars. These are a lot of good games on here, guys. Gears of War 5. You guys know I already have these. That's pulling down through Game Pass. So both of these are on Game Pass. However, one of these is pulling through Xbox, the other one is pulling from Steam. So ironically, you'll notice you won't see all of the Xbox cloud gaming games in this library. You'll notice that. So they've picked and choose which games will come through Xbox cloud gaming and which ones will come through Steam. And then sometimes it'll come through both. Got Forewarned. The Fisherman. And this also represents less stress on your computer or single board computer if you have a low power device. So again, typically we're tweaking, we're trying to get some of these N64, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, and some of those other games to run, PlayStation 2 and so forth, to run on these single board computers. This keeps everything very simple to you. It doesn't wear out the device harder than it should. Obviously, no overclocking is needed. It will stay cool. Your temps will stay anywhere around 34, maybe 40 degrees Celsius. And you don't have to get some extensive cooling option or try to overclock to make any of this stuff possible. This is all, this is the way the technology is going, the future of gaming. And we wanted to be the first to kind of present it to you in a nice, attractive form factor. So we do know that Xbox Cloud Gaming is even now available on the NVIDIA Shield, which was announced a few months ago. But hey, we were already running it before them. So we already had this kind of worked out and figured out for all of you to get the most out of your low-powered single-board computers. All right, we have Doom Eternal. We have Doom. These games natively would be impossible to run on a Pi4, Pi5, or Orange Pi5, even though the Raspberry Pi 4 can't handle cloud gaming. Just letting you know the direction of technology is really phenomenal as far as direction that we're going in. All right, we got Battle.net. You got to have an account there. Diablo 3, so you could stream the game directly from that account as well. Dead Age 2, Dead Age. Got some other games here. Nice wide variety, a selection of games that are available for all of you. And again, all of these will require you to have a purchased game available. Crisis 2, Crisis 3. I should probably buy this one and then run it just to say, hey, look, guys, I'm playing this on a Pi 5. But a lot of the guys were, or people who follow me, were really pretty interested to see that these single board computers could now really handle this, even if it was in a streaming fashion. Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Zero, Counter-Strike. Those are all pulling from Steam. I bought those back in the early 2000s. Multiplayer runs phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, you won't have games like that on Xbox Game Pass because it's not, supported. So that's one of the benefits of going through GeForce Now gaming experience as opposed to Xbox Cloud Gaming, is because they'll only give you access to those specific games within their threshold. Got Blood Bowl. This looks like some type of football game or something of some sort. Steam. It's a lot of good. This is a great service for other developers to get recognized, get their work out there. Combat Commander. Never seen this one before. Looks like a space airplane fighting game. Looks like Battle Beast. Those look like the characters from Dragon Ball Z. Those wolves right there. All right, we have some more obscure titles here. Assassin's Creed 2. Let's see, which one is this service pulling down from? All right, that's pulling down from Steam. Got Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Got Aska. We have Amnesia, American Fugitive. Got American Nightmare. Let's see, we got Conan. All right, so we have reached the bottom and the final title list for 2,083 games, all available through the Epic Game Store. So again, you need to have that active subscription, and I think I may have already mentioned this before too. I had some technical difficulties. But again, this can't be compared to the PlayStation 5 service like with Xbox Cloud Gaming. PlayStation does not have a cloud-based gaming format. They have remote play, which is more or less similar to Steam Link, but you have to be within so many feet of your original PlayStation 5, the one that you're connected to. And then, of course, I think it's streaming at 720p to your PC. And then you have other applications in the background, such as, let's say, if you have, the web paper installer or the web paper engine, like I have running in the background, sometimes that can interfere with that remote play. So, again, this is a phenomenal option, and that will, be there for all of you to fully enjoy. But again, showcasing the list that, for cloud gaming services capable on your single board computer or your mini PC. If you're running Supreme Ultra, you could download this directly through the Patreon. So if you already have a subscription, you can have access to all of this. All right, so now we're going to take a look at Amazon Luna. That is another cloud-based streaming service. We're not going to spend too much time on that because that one's kind of like the GeForce Now gaming experience that allows you to pull directly from existing libraries and existing games. However, that service is a little bit more unique because they do offer their own unique games that you can play on there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that service. All right, so here we have the Amazon Luna Cloud Gaming Experience. And from the last time I was here, they've made some significant changes to it. In fact, previously it was a little laggier here directly on their interface. And the cool thing too with this interface, Game Pass, cloud gaming with Xbox, and then also the Epic Game Store, it works natively. Again, with your browsers, with Microsoft Edge, and Chrome, and also Google Chrome, works natively with your Xbox controller. Some of these other browsers, I tried Firefox, I think KDE Plasma had their own browser on the Raspberry Pi 5. Controller was haywire, it was all over the place. You plug this thing in, it automatically recognizes your controller. You don't have to go through any setup or anything of that nature. Now, let's just kind of go through the interface. And also one of the other things I noticed too was that they made this an app. But the last time I was here, this was only available to stream, to my knowledge, directly through the app itself. So let's kind of go here and go back. You got to open up the wrong window. You can also broadcast, but I want you guys to see some of these settings. So let's take a look at the settings we have available. So I have a few of my linked accounts. These are the controllers that you can have set up. You plug in any one of these controllers, even your PlayStation controller, it will recognize it automatically without you having to do anything else. Now, if you have a certain preference of how you want a game to connect or run, then of course you can go ahead and modify that as well. You got your parental control history here. We don't need to mess with any of that. And this is what I made reference to earlier. So unlike the other services, you can adjust the video resolution while you're cloud gaming. Now, when I was on the Orange Pi 5, I almost said, you know what, screw this service. It was a little laggy, whatever the case might be. But I dropped it down to 720p and I was able to run it flawlessly. I don't know if the Orange Pi 5, we've updated it since then, but I do know if you run the Amazon Luna service on the 1080p, if it really can't handle it, you may experience latency issues where there's a slight delay. However, I got absolute perfection gameplay running it at 720p, so I'm just making you guys aware of that if you do stream or run these games, or if you're having some latency issues, you could go directly to your setting, drop it down from 1080p to 720p, and be able to run it with latency free, because I believe this is the defaulted setting here at 1080p, and so I had one of those issues with that, and just giving you guys a heads up. We got my gaming save data. It says download Luna, so you can download Luna onto your Fire TV or to your PC. So that's another cool thing that you can do now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the game titles. And it looks like here, again, you can only search through either Epic or Ubisoft. So to my knowledge, this is not going to pull down from some of these other services, like say Steam games. I believe it may pull from some of the Steam games, but I know for a fact it's not going to pull down from Xbox. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of these titles. We're going to go ahead and search from A to Z. And some games in here are free. So this game here is offered through Ubisoft. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. $9.99 a month for Amazon Luna Plus, and then $17.99 for Luna Plus for the whole month. So again, you have two different services here that you can subscribe through. If you want to go through any one of these, then of course you can go ahead and sign up and do that as well. So here's a couple of quick filters. You can filter out through games you own through Ubisoft. So apparently these are all the games that I own directly through Ubisoft. I honestly kind of like this filter, unlike the GeForce Now gaming experience, where it's just either my games or whatever, but it gives you a little bit more detail in terms of what you can do for your library. This is everything that I have through Epic Game Store, no surprise there. And then of course you can filter out through single player, local player, co-op, or also online. So in my opinion, I think that their layout here is a little bit better in terms of how you can categorize and organize your filters. And then of course here you got your action, adventure, arcade, and other various titles. So let's see. I want to pull up all the games here. We don't want to just take a look at my library. I want to see all the games that they have available. So again, this is also new too. GOG.com and Amazon Luna Plus. With this particular service, you don't just have access to Luna Plus. They also give you access to Jackpot Games, Ubisoft Plus, and Prime Gaming. Now, it can kind of get confusing because they do have some of these games that are offered through their Amazon Prime based experience. And so it gives you a different category that you can kind of go through and search through in order to kind of search through some of these games. So let's go back here to our library and home. We're going to scroll back down and we're going to go to, let's see, Jack Games. And with these games, they don't require you to have the game purchased through one of the other existing services. So again, with the other existing services, you have to have the game. You have to have already paid for it. Then you subscribe to this service, and then now you can stream it. But with this particular service here, you can obviously play some of these games on here for free. And then also this one here is $4.99 for the service. I think they actually changed it, because again, I don't remember paying specifically for this service when I tried Amazon Luna Plus. But it looks like they've updated there. But I do know in some of these packages with these services, they do just give you a few bonus games so you can go ahead and play them for free. All right, let's see. We have Ubisoft Plus. I don't think we've checked on that. So these are all of the Ubisoft Plus games here that you are available to stream. We got 45 games like the Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Siege on devices you already own. So new releases added throughout the year. And so what they mean by that is they will add additional titles in conjunction with ones that you've already paid for. Let's see. Let's go to GOG. This is another new service. You guys have probably seen a lot of their ads offered online. And so they have another phenomenal library as well. We got Pumpkin Jack as well. Got Cuphead. This is probably going to stream from Steam. You can play with your keyboard. Let's go ahead and click on that for a second. You can either buy the game. I'm not sure where this one's going to be streaming from. Normally it would tell you here. All right. Let's go back again. Let's go back to GOG.com. So these are all the games that are offered through that service. You have RoboCop, Rogue City. Again, all of these are streamable on the low-powered single-board computers and mini PCs, which typically, natively, you would not be able to run without a dedicated high-end GPU. This is where all the services are going. Let's click on this. I'm curious to see what Couch is. I haven't seen it. With Luna Couch, you can play local co-op games with your friends, even if they aren't subscribed to Luna. Just launch a game, start a Luna Couch session, and share the code with your friends. Ask them to go to Amazon, to luna.com, luna.amazon.com couch to join your game. So if you have a membership and you want one of your friends to join in on a game, as long as you have a membership, you can share the game code and they can play with you as well. That's another phenomenal feature. So again, this is not like Xbox Game Pass where everybody has to have their own individual account. You can share codes, so that way you can have other people play along with you. So that's also cool too, because what if you want to play a co-op game and you don't want to buy the game, and like myself, I have a bunch of nephews. Sometimes I want to play with them, but I don't feel like buying every little freaking game that comes out. So that's another awesome feature that they are able to have. All right, here. So these are the AAA titles and another phenomenal list of games that are directly offered through Luna Plus. And again, it kind of gets confusing because as I've gone through them, they have like 4 different services or so, all within the Luna Plus branding. Got River City Girls. We got Earthworm Jim. Got Whisker Waters. We got Spell Secrets. Got Paper Beast. Inside Radio. Got Kunai. Metrocom, never heard of any of these games. So this list isn't as extensive as the Epic Game Store or with the Xbox Cloud Gaming. But it's a nice list. You subscribe to a service. And again, we're not asking you guys to sign up for this kind of stuff. This is if you already have Amazon, if you already have a gaming service and you want to be able to play it on multiple different devices, this is what we are able to offer you. I've played all these. You guys have seen a lot of my clips here on the channel using all of these games here. So these are all the games that I've gone through. Continue playing. Yep, I've played all of these games. I've got footage on each and every one of them. So was able to play all of these with lag free, just dropping the resolution down to 720p. And again, here you have more categories that allows you to better filter the games there and be able to enjoy these games. And then of course you can link your accounts, and it shows you all of your controller setups that you can go ahead and set up. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the last but not least service. There's a few more services out there. We're not going to cover all of them. I just wanted to kind of touch on the popular 4 that we've already embedded within Supreme Ultra that you guys can currently download again on my Patreon. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last but final service called Antstream Arcade. So here we are at Antstream Arcade, over 1,300 retro games available with your current subscription. Again, you do need to have a current subscription. None of this stuff is unlicensed ROMs or whatever the case might be. This is fully licensed, and this is something you pay for. Now, if you aren't familiar with this service, it is capable right now on Xbox, PlayStation, Windows, Epic Games, Android, Google Play Store, Apple, iOS, and other various devices. Now, again, you can play this directly through your web browser. And with this retro games, we're going to give you the full list that you can kind of go over. It also allows you to access all of the achievements. But again, everything is seamless here. Your controller will work with a corresponding browser, just like some of the other various services. And if you have your Xbox or PlayStation controller, everything will work natively, specifically with that browser. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of the games that they do have to offer. Now, the biggest difference is with Xbox, not so much Xbox Cloud Gaming, but with Antstream Gaming. If you are subscribed directly with PC, such as your Xbox or PlayStation, that is a separate account, unless they've changed it recently. If you subscribe directly through that service, this is an entirely different service. You need to have a separate package unless they've changed that. So we'll take a look at that today here. But the last time that I signed up for this, even though I had a 6-month or 1-year membership with Xbox, you still need to have a separate service if you wanted to cloud game. They're not like Xbox where you can, whether it's on your Xbox and then you can come over to your PC. They're different subscription-based services. And had I known that prior to going directly with my Xbox, I don't do really any retro games on my Xbox One or Xbox Series S. It would have been much more beneficial for me to sign up to the package on my PC so I could play it on the cloud gaming service and do it remotely through this particular service, because this is how I would primarily play more retro games. So here's a full list. You guys will recognize all of these titles. Obviously, none of these are new because we're going through all of the games from the 1980s, the 1990s, and then maybe the early 2000s. So most of you will recognize all of these titles. Again, if you are running some form of RetroPie, you probably already have the ROM installed because it doesn't require much for these games to run. However, if you do have a single board computer and you don't want to deal with any illegalities and all that other kind of stuff, again, all of this is legal. There's no ROMs. There's nothing perfectly loaded on here. This is something that you can do directly from the unit itself. Dunk Dream 95. Let's go through more. I don't know why they just didn't list all the games here. They got 14 pages. I think that's a little bit dramatic. And they add new games each week. So I don't remember what the original list was. I'd have to go back through some of my clips. So maybe they add some and remove some. I'm not familiar with that aspect, but I can't remember if the number has changed as to where it's a growing library or are they kind of swapping out some over the course of every week or whatever the case might be. Got Valis, Full Throttle. Never heard of that one before, but I probably got it laying around somewhere. We got Lunar Lander. Got Chopper 1. All of these will be some type of arcade. Oh my god. They actually have Brawl Brothers on here. This is one of my favorite SNES games. Wow, I can't believe they actually have Brawl Brothers. You guys, this is a 2-player co-op. It's kind of like a Double Dragon, Double Dragon type of game. You could pick between 4 different players. One of the best brawlers on the SNES, in my opinion. So I've never seen that one before, so that one's pretty much brand new. Space Gun. Volleyball, we got Peacekeepers, SNES, Mega Drive, Arcade. Looks like they have decided to kind of branch out before, because I believe initially this service was primarily for arcade-based games. I can't remember if the console titles were on here or not, such as the SNES and Mega Drive. Got your classic here. We got Pong, Pinball Dreams Ignition, Rival Turf. So we got Time Soldiers, we got Karate Champ, Target Renegade, and several other games here as well. I really wish they would just curate this list to about maybe 1 page or so, like some of the other interfaces, but you know, obviously this is what they do. We got Worms. And I think with even with this subscription, you can play some of these games for a few minutes without having to pay fully. I believe they have some type of trial-based period for a lot of these games here, so that's also good news if you guys want to test the service. And out of all the services, again, with this one, I didn't have any problems at all streaming or running any of these games. So there were no latency issues, no hiccup, no lag, so there were no adjustments that you needed to make in the settings to get the best optimal experience either. A lot of these games I haven't seen in a long time. We got Pinball Dreams, we got Witch Noise, Paddle Mania. And for reference's sake, we noticed that cloud gaming started being possible around, well, for the most part. Obviously, if you have an Intel or Mini-based PC, it would have been a lot sooner. But with ARM-based chips, it kind of started with the RK3588. So if you have an RK3588, which would be one of the Banana Pi chips, or Banana Pi boards, a UE2 R1, a RATSA, the RATSA Rock Pi5B, the Rock 5C. You also have the Orange Pi5, RK3588. So all of those RK3588 chips and up can run. The Raspberry Pi 5 could do it as well in terms of ARM-based chips. And then there may be a few other obscure chips that are out there that are arcade-based that might be able to handle it. I haven't tested all of them. And then, of course, if you have some of the Intel-based chips going back to around, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years, they may have been possible or may have been capable of running some of these cloud-based games services. I know the RATSA X2L can do it, the UE2 R1. I can't remember the model numbers exactly on those chips, but those are lower-based Intel Celeron-based chips, and it can handle it really well. Nightshade, we got Premiere, Escape, Eric, We got Fortified Zone. I haven't seen a lot of these games. Okay, that's on the Game Boy. So we have some other games here from your Atari, Amiga, and other genre classic games that you can now stream on here. Not so much just some of the arcade-based games. You got your C64. These are games that typically will be found in a lot of the basic retro gaming images and packages. Chips, Pilgrim, we have Centipede, Atari version. So it's an 8-bit game. We got your Spectrums. We got Super Hunchback. We have Zippy Bug. We have Cave Mania. West Bank. All right, we're just kind of scrolling through these titles here. We have a few more pages to go. Got Pinball. Chop Suey. We got, all right. We got a few more pages. We're on page 9 of 14 now. Quickly scrolling through. Got Dodge 'em. Got some. Oh, we got an NES game here. You know, I think that's the first NES official game I've seen here on a cloud gaming based platform. And I can't think of any other services that are like this that are really licensing games from the old retro gaming past. And you know, I was looking for some that even possibly do maybe PS2 or something of that nature, or maybe like Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn. I haven't found a service like that. Robin of the Wood, we have Raffles, Flip and Flop, Aftermath, Kissin' Cousins, or Kissin' Cousins. Oh, Kissin' Cousins. We got Summer Camp. All right, let's go to page 10 of 14. We're almost done here. Phenomenal service to kind of be able to take advantage of everything that these single board computers can offer. And right now, I believe the cheapest board that you could get that could do a lot of this stuff would probably be the Rock 5C, coming in at about 60 bucks. And again, that one has the Arcade 3588. But, you know, this is the shortcoming that I've been talking about of the home arcade community. You have II Arcade, you have Ad Games, and several other ones. You know, if they had an interface or something built in to where you could kind of tap into these services that you already pay for, you really wouldn't have to worry about what games they're putting out, because you'd be able to stream. I mean, obviously, with the exception of Steam Link, you'd be able to play a lot of these games, but they're not built for the future. They don't think that way. They're not providing images or front ends that are capable to be quote unquote future proof. And so they give you, they handcuff you to kind of just for them to provide to you what they want to provide to you. And then you guys are looking for something else. Many of you are swapping out your parts. Many of you are modding or just adding a Pi unit to your home arcade unit. And honestly, that creates a lot of digital waste if they just took out the time to kind of see which direction technology was going in, so that way that they can provide a service to you so you can take advantage of things like this. Because a lot of these home arcade companies, and this is what I was talking about with the Evercade, is that for, what was it, $299, $229, whatever it is they're offering that unit for. That's a quite hefty price when you're just basically getting some lockdown games. But look at a service like this. I mean, if you had cloud-based gaming service and subscribe for what, $9.99 a month, just look at all the games that you have available. Now, they may not be to the suitable or to your liking, but just look at the options that you have here and being able to run it on something like an Evercade. So, you know, that's my pet peeve about a lot of these home arcade companies, is they just keep you spending and spending and keeping your wheels turned for the amount of money that you spend. So I think that is pretty much the list. So, all right, everyone, I think that pretty much does it for the list. I would appreciate all of you being able to like or subscribe, maybe share the video. Hope you guys got something out of it. And so just a quick recap, we've gone over Epic Game Store, we've gone over Ubisoft, we've gone over the NVIDIA GeForce Now experience with Amazon Cloud Luna, as well as Microsoft Xbox Game Pass. And so you can pick your poison, but again, I just wanted to open your eyes to all the services that are available. And yes, right now, all of this is fully capable, if you have a subscription, with Supreme Ultra if you have Maximum Carnage or Pi Resurrection or one of the images that I've released. You can find my Patreon on Kiodiekin to download pretty much all the images that we worked on, the Pi3, Pi4, Pi5, as well as you can follow a number of my different Facebook groups. But I hope you guys found this video informational, open your eyes and horizons about where is currently out there, the direction that technology is going in to prevent you from spending and spending and spending. In this case, so that way you can get the most bang for your buck out of your single board computer. And the cool thing is a lot of the prices are dropping. Many PCs, the Intel based chips used to cost $500 to $600 about 3 or 4 years ago. And now for that same price, starting out with the Ratchet X4, you can now get some of these same single board computers, Intel series, for about as low as $50 to $60. And then now the ARM based capable devices of about $50 going on up, and then a Raspberry Pi 5 starting out at about, what was that, 60, maybe $70, going up to about $80. So it's good to see now that we can get all of this full functionality capability out of these little small form single board computers, as well as the extension of this new technology in cloud gaming, giving us access to a lot of these titles. It's a fun time to be a gamer. It's a fun time to be a retro gamer. And so if you guys made it to the end of this video, I definitely appreciate your time watching. I know that this was a lengthy video, but I haven't seen one that was really put out there kind of showcasing all these services can do, especially what the newer single board computers can run. So open up your eyes. This is the going standard. This is where technology is. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.